Welcome to Gamers Platform.
Yeah! Good. Oh, baby! Look at that!
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Gamers Platform, the only place to be for all your gaming needs. I'm Adam Wolf, and today I bring you a brand new series that I've been wanting to do for a very long time. And I was trying to debate with myself whether or not it should be a video, like a single video, or just make it into a series. And since there are so many games out there where this question could be answered, I guess, the ultimate question is 30 frames a second really viable even today? Now, some people, when they see a new game come out, they're like, why is it running at 30? Why isn't it at 60 or higher? And, you know, I've been a console player my entire life, and I've had a lot of time on the PC. And so I think I've got a good perspective on both sides of the story here. While higher frame rates for a game like Battlefield, Call of Duty, definitely are a much better option. I used to play Battlefield on PlayStation 3 and, you know, especially even further back, Xbox original, you know, Battlefield 2 Modern Combat, I'm pretty sure was locked at 30 FPS. I could be wrong. It's been a very long time. The question that everybody always seems to bring up is, well, how can you compete at 30 frames a second? You're receiving less information as you play, as opposed to somebody who's even playing at 60 frames a second. That's double the amount of information. So wouldn't that be a hindrance? Well, I personally don't think so. I think if you're good enough, if you understand the keyboard and mouse, and you have good knowledge of the game that you're playing, I think it doesn't matter what frame rate you're at. Now, obviously, we take a look at Battlefield 4 and we're like, that's not really a competitive game. No, it's not. But it does have PvP, which is primarily what everybody plays. And so that's what we're going to be focusing on. I'm just going to go into a server. We're going to give it a shot for a single game and see how I do, you know? And I'm looking to cover not just this Battlefield. Battlefield 4 is the choice today because it's the most popular game right now because of the hype surrounding Battlefield 2042. And so there's going to be servers. There's going to be games to play. So I figured, just throw up Battlefield 4, start with this. I've got, strangely enough, I've installed Call of Duty Warzone. I'll be touching that, even though I'm terrible at Call of Duty on PC. Absolutely horrendous. But maybe I'll get an advantage at 30 frames a second. Who knows? Who knows? But just so you guys think I'm not, you know, making this up, I've got MSI Afterburner up here in the top left corner showing the frame rate that it's sitting at. And I'm using VSync, and I'm using NVIDIA's control panel to lock the frame rate at 30 frames a second. I've cranked the graphics. That's one of the benefits of playing at 30 frames a second. You can crank the graphics even with the lowest meager setup. I'm running a Ryzen 5 2400G with a GTX 1060. And this game is old enough. I could run it at, you know, probably 120 frames a second with this setup even, but it's locked at 30 frames a second. I've cranked the graphics all the way. And I've turned off motion blur because that would just be a nightmare. So, without further ado, let's get to answering this question. Can I compete in Battlefield 4 at 30 frames a second? Let's get into it. Now, obviously, the main question that a lot of people would have for playing at 30 frames a second is, well, what about input lag? What about input latency? You know, don't you feel awkward, you know, using a keyboard and mouse at 30 frames a second? And luckily, you know, if it's done right, input latency doesn't have to be a problem. Luckily, it doesn't. Now, oh god, oh wow, all right, he just came out of nowhere. And again, this isn't a competitive game per se. But it is a game that, you know, PvP exists. And I'll be trying a myriad of games. You know, we're talking Battlefield, Call of Duty, hell, maybe even Rogue Company. I always wanted to try that, and, well, quite frankly, I'm not sure. But also, I was trying to figure out if I wanted to go purely... We're not going to do this entire match. At least I'm not going to try and make you guys sit through an entire match. I will actually be cutting this up. But because I am primarily a controller user, it's not that I'm terrible at keyboard and mouse. I know how to use it, but I'm not very good. And so if the game supports controller, which a lot are supporting it, like Call of Duty and the later Battlefields, Battlefield 5 and Battlefield 1, they both have full support for controller. I've been trying to figure out if I should stick with keyboard and mouse, or just can you compete in general on PC at 30 frames a second, you know? By giving yourself what is supposedly a handicap, which I don't really think it is, to be honest. If you're giving yourself a handicap, can you still do well? And by the end of this game, we'll see. So I just want to try and not really put to bed the argument of, oh, higher frame rate is always better. You always want to go higher frame rate. It's like, I think, again with the shotgun. I really ultimately think that what matters is the person who's playing it. The person who's playing. Are they good with keyboard and mouse? Do they understand the game? I think if you put that stuff together, it shouldn't matter. You could put Shroud in Call of Duty, play it at 30 FPS, and I'm sure that he'd be able to adapt to it just fine. You know, I'm sure he wouldn't want to, because he's one of those guys, no doubt, that advocates for higher frame rates because he is a PC gamer. But I'm on both sides because I've played both sides. I've been on PC, I've been on console. I know how each one of them feels. One of the other good things about locking the frame rate at 30 FPS is the fact that it puts a lot less stress on your GPU, but it also, like I said, it allows you to crank the graphics in games that you probably normally wouldn't be able to. What? You can kill people with that? Now, keep in mind, this server is actually running at 60 hertz, which is higher than anything that is on console. Whoop, whoop, whoop. That guy's still in the machine gun there. It's higher than anything on console. Console, I've only seen 45 hertz, or a tick rate of 45 hertz. On here, I've seen upwards of 90, which is phenomenal. But this one, I believe, happens to be at 60, which is double, obviously, the frequency of what I'm locking myself to here. Whoop, that was bad. I didn't move to the side. Whoops. My bad. I don't know how they died over there. That means they're on the stairs. I just want to put it out there that I am absolutely an advocate for 30 FPS gaming. It's not like it's a movement or anything, but a lot of people seem to think that when developers say, oh, you know, we locked it at 30 for an artistic reasons. I think that's a BS answer. It really is. It honestly is. It's not a good answer. There's no artistic reason to lock a game in at 30 FPS. It's a technical problem. You know, if you're putting it on the base PS4, there's a reason you locked it in at 30, because the PS4 cannot handle it. I don't know why they don't just say that. That's really the answer they should give. It's like, well, the system's not powerful enough, so we have to lock it in. Server lag. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh god. This has been a problem since the hype for Battlefield 2042 has begun. Like, people have flooded the servers, and it's been nothing but absolute chaos. Long queues, server lag, just you name it, it's there. You gotta be careful. They could blow up on that wall. Oh, I should have kept shooting. Ow. Why am I being shot? Oh, God. They're just all over the place. Medic. There we go. Boy, the medics on here are way better than on console. Console, then you get maybe 20% revives, like 90% of the time. Wow, not a single hit marker. Oh, there's the lag. Oh, here we go. Ooh. I was pretty much dead at that point. There's guys outside. Up top. Up top. No, never mind. Not up top. Oh, I thought they could be up top. Sorry, that's the different spot. That's my guy. All right. All right. I cannot see anything. Why would you pick me up? See, now that never changes. Medics will always try to pick you up to get those points. They don't care what position you're in. They will always try to get the quick points. Which, in my opinion, you know, I think that if I get killed, the points should be taken away. They should get taken away because they picked me up in a very precarious position. Position that did not benefit me.
We've lost objective Charlie.
Kill assist. I hate that glitch. Stole my kill. This guy again? How many guns is he gonna use? Isn't that like the third gun I've seen him kill me with? Ah! There's no beating that gun, man. There's just no beating it. And again, I promise you, I would be dying just as fast. Whether I saw him first or not, it doesn't matter. 60 frames a second, 90, 120. He saw me first, and with that gun, I can kiss my ass goodbye. All right. Flashbang did not go off. Oh, come on. My guy was just on the stairs. Come on, man. Yeah, give me that revive. Get me back out of the flames. Get me that. Oh my god, and he just shows up. No footsteps at all. But we won. We won. I came in at 33 and 22, which is not bad, especially for a round like that. Stuck the landing at number 11. So, I don't know. I think I did pretty well. This is like taking forever to... No sounds are playing like they're supposed to. This game always had a problem on PC for me with loading assets, loading sounds. It's just always been a problem. But while that's not definitive proof that you can compete at 30 frames a second, it's Battlefield, okay? There's no competing here. I think it kind of gives an idea that if you know what you're doing, you've used the peripherals before, you know, you've got a consistent frame rate. It's just rock solid frame rate. You know the layout, the maps, whatever. You know how to play the game. I honestly believe, and I'm going to stick to this, I honestly believe it doesn't matter what frame rate you play at. Now, I'm not saying go below 30 frames a second. 24 frames a second. Let's leave that to the movies, shall we? But 30 FPS and up, I think that if you're somebody like Shroud, like Dr. Disrespect, like Tim the Tatman, if you know what you're doing, I don't think it's going to matter what frame rate you stick to. Will higher frame rates give you more information faster? Yes, that's how it works. The science is there. It's been proven. But it's not been proven that higher frame rates will make you a better gamer. That only comes with time and practice. Time into the game that you love to play, practice on the peripherals you like to use. And that's why I prefer a controller over keyboard and mouse, even though I can play with a keyboard and mouse. It really depends on the game. Battlefield has always been my jam on PC. Call of Duty, not so much. And in the next episode, we're going to see that outright because it's going to be atrocious. And I'm warning you guys ahead of time, it will be awful to watch me play Call of Duty Warzone with keyboard and mouse. It's just not going to work. I might not even play with keyboard and mouse. since that game supports controller, I'm going to throw on a controller. But again, not proof, but I think that in the end, if you know what you're doing, it doesn't matter what frame rate you're at. If you've practiced, if you know the layout of your peripheral, it's not going to matter at all whatsoever. You're still going to have fun. You're still going to do well. And I think that right there is a score that I normally get. That's in the realm. I don't go high numbers, you know, especially on a server like that with Hunt. It was 1,500 tickets. It's like 200% ticket count, which is a crazy amount of tickets, but it's a nice long game. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that frame rate matters in the end? Or do you think it's experience? It's the person behind the peripheral. Let me know in the comments below. Thank you all for joining me today. And please join me again in the next video where we take on Call of Duty Warzone, a game that I do not like, a game that I am terrible at on PC, and see if maybe, just maybe, I can do well at 30 frames a second. But until then, I'm Adam Wolf. This is Battlefield 4 at 30 frames a second. And I'll see you guys in the next one.